Ready to kick off the new year with a fascinating new podcast. It's called John Chat. Let's chat with John.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this one.
And the host, Professor John from National Taiwan Normal University.
From National Taiwan Normal University, huh?
He actually won the 2024 Golden Bell Award for Best Host.
Wow!
That's a pretty big deal.
The Golden Bell Award.
Yeah, like the top honor for broadcasting in Taiwan.
Wow, so we're going to be learning from the best.
Yeah, we're going to explore this podcast in 2 parts today.
Okay, sounds good.
So first up, we're going to be looking at a book that Professor John discussed on his show.
Okay.
It's by this seasoned media personality, Ellen Cow. And then in the second part, we'll look at how you can actually get involved with this podcast yourself.
Oh, wow, so how to be a guest.
Exactly.
Cool. What's this book about, then?
So the book is called Sel Ti Guai.
Okay.
It translates roughly to I smile, but not necessarily happy.
I smile, but not necessarily happy.
And the subtitle is The Hidden Anxiety Beneath a Smile.
Oh, wow.
Pretty relatable, right?
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes.
We all put on a brave face.
Yeah, sometimes we gotta.
But yeah, this book is all about depression. And it kind of gives us a glimpse into what it's like to live with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Professor John talked about this really interesting comic in the book.
Okay, a comic.
Yeah, and it really just shows the difference between outward appearances and like what might be going on inside.
I see.
Like the hidden struggle.
Yeah.
And, you know, it really highlights how someone might be struggling even if they seem okay on the outside.
Right, exactly.
And he actually read some pretty intense quotes from the book that I thought were interesting.
Okay, what were they?
Like one of them was, my heart has a big hole that can't be mended. The fear makes me keep thinking, I'm sick. I'm sick. No, I know, and I'm sure I'm sick.
Wow. That's
It is heavy.
That's heavy. Yeah, it sounds like it's really affecting her deeply. Yeah.
Really consuming, yeah. And then she had another quote that I thought was interesting. I used to think that if I kept focusing on my health, it was a sign that I was about to get sick. And this incubation period had actually been going on for years.
Incubation period. That's interesting.
Yeah, like a buildup.
Yeah, for years.
Yeah, and it's not always obvious.
Not always obvious, yeah.
And then I thought this last quote was pretty profound.
What was that?
She said, smiling can be a lie.
Oh, wow.
It's so simple, but it's very true.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
Yeah, like don't just assume that someone's fine because they're smiling.
Yeah, and we should be more understanding.
Exactly. And, you know, her story really shows that everyone experiences depression differently. There's no one size fits all, you know.
Everyone's different, yeah.
And one thing that really stood out to me was the advice she gave to families with loved ones who were struggling.
Oh, that's important.
Professor John shared some of her suggestions, and I thought they were really helpful.
Like what?
Well, she said that it's important to use simple but powerful phrases.
Okay.
Like, I love you, I need you, and I'm proud of you.
Those are good ones.
Yeah, but, you know, she emphasized that it's not just about saying the words.
Yeah.
You really have to mean it.
Right.
Like it has to be
It
genuine.
has to come from the heart.
Exactly. Because when you're dealing with depression, it can be hard to believe those things.
Yeah, even if you hear them a lot.
Exactly. So it's important to make that extra effort.
And show that you really care.
Yeah. And she also talked about nonverbal ways to show love.
Oh, like what?
Like physical touch.
Okay.
And spending quality time with your loved one.
Mm-hmm.
Really creating a supportive environment.
Yeah, where they feel safe.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And I think it's really about working together, you know?
Yeah, being a team.
Like she suggested seeking professional help together.
Oh, okay.
And being willing to adjust your pace to accommodate their needs.
Yeah, it's not a one-person battle.
Exactly. It's about supporting each other through it.
Yeah, that's so important.
Because we're all in this together, right?
Absolutely.
It's about understanding and supporting each other no matter what.
Well said.
It's amazing how powerful personal stories can be, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But now I'm kind of excited to shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about how you, the listener, can actually be a part of this podcast.
Oh, cool. How to get involved.
Yeah, so John Chat. Let's chat with John.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we talked about how Professor John won the Golden Bell Award?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, his approach to podcasting is a big reason why.
Really? How so?
He does these like supernatural conversations.
Show conversations, yeah.
They're unedited and unfiltered.
Oh, wow. So it's like
It's like you're just listening in on a really interesting chat between two people,
I see.
but you get to learn a lot along the way.
So it's educational, but also entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
And Professor John's vision for this podcast is really cool, too.
What is it?
He wants to give a platform to diverse voices and stories, like people and topics that don't always get a lot of attention in the mainstream media.
I like that.
Yeah, it's all about sharing different perspectives.
Giving everyone a chance to be heard.
Exactly. And he actually has this Let's Chat form on his website.
A forum?
Yeah, where you can express interest in being a guest on his show.
So anyone can sign up.
Pretty much, yeah. He's really open to hearing from anyone with a good story.
That's awesome.
He's looking for all sorts of topics and backgrounds. But he did mention 3 main themes that he's particularly interested in.
What are they?
The past, the present, and the future.
Oh, wow. Like a timeline of human experience.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Yeah.
So for the past theme, he's looking for those nostalgic stories.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, like what?
Like stories about bygone eras, family traditions. Maybe your grandparents have some cool stories from way back when.
Oh, yeah, like oral histories.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be so interesting.
Yeah, I bet there are so many amazing stories out there that haven't been told.
Yeah, just waiting to be shared.
And then for the present, he's interested in lesser-known issues.
Okay.
Or specialized fields that deserve more attention. So maybe there's a social cause that you're really passionate about, but it's not getting a lot of coverage.
Right.
Or maybe you work in a field that most people don't know much about.
Yeah, like something really niche.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be fascinating to hear about.
Yeah, and then for the future, he wants to explore emerging trends and potential challenges. So like innovative business ideas or concerns about things that could impact future generations.
So it's about looking ahead.
Exactly. Thinking critically about the future.
I like that.
And, you know, even though Professor John is based in Taipei,
Yeah.
he's totally open to connecting with people from all over Taiwan.
Really?
Yeah, he even said he's willing to travel if the opportunity's right.
Wow. That's dedication.
Yeah, he's really committed to making this podcast diverse and inclusive.
I'm impressed.
So yeah, if any of this sounds interesting to you, I highly recommend checking out the Let's Chat form on his website.
Yeah. What do you have to lose?
Exactly. And don't be shy, even if you're not sure if your story is a perfect fit. Yeah, just go for it.
Because Professor John personally reviews every single submission.
Wow, so he really takes the time.
Yeah, he does. He wants to hear from as many different voices as possible.
That's great.
So you never know. Your story could end up being featured on John Chat. Let's chat with John.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
It's a great opportunity to share your experiences and connect with a wider audience.
And who knows, maybe your story will inspire someone else.
Exactly. You never know how your story might impact others.
Sharing is caring.
It really is. Wow, we covered a lot of ground today.
We did, yeah.
From Ellen Cow's book to Professor John's podcast.
2 very different topics, but...
But, you know, there's a connection there.
Oh, definitely.
They both emphasize the importance of sharing personal stories.
Yeah, like creating a space for people to really open up.
Exactly. And what I love about Professor John's podcast is that he's not looking for perfect stories, you know?
Yeah, he wants the real deal.
Yeah, he embraces those raw, unfiltered conversations.
And that's what makes it so engaging. Totally. Like it feels so much more authentic.
Yeah, you feel like you're really getting to know the person.
It's like he's inviting you into his living room for a chat.
Exactly. And that's what we want to leave you with today, you know?
Yeah.
Thinking about your own story.
What's your story?
Yeah. And don't be afraid to embrace those imperfections.
Yeah, those are what make it unique.
Remember those 3 themes Professor John talked about?
The past, the present, and the future. What story from your past has shaped who you are today?
Or maybe there's something happening right now that you're really passionate about.
Or a dream for the future that you want to share.
Whatever it is, we encourage you to think about how it might resonate with others.
Yeah. How would you share it with Professor John and the listeners of John Chat? Let's chat with John.
Filling out that Let's Chat form could be your first step.
It's a chance to connect with a wider community.
You never know what might happen.
Your story could inspire someone, spark a new conversation.
Or even lead to something you never expected.
We've learned today that everyone has a story to tell.
Yeah, and those stories have power.
They can connect us, inspire us, and teach us so much.
So what story will you share with the world?
That's something for you to think about.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into John Chat. Let's chat with John.
We hope you've been inspired to embrace the power of storytelling.
And to share your own unique voice.
Who knows, maybe we'll hear your story on a future episode.
Until next time.
Happy New Year.